Like vegetables, today is the first on-campus farmers market of the school year. TV2 is there. We'll tell you all about who's there and what's being sold.
Monarch butterflies stopped in a park in Cleveland this week as a part of their migration. One of our reporters was there and has all the details.
President Biden spoke to the UN today. What he asked of the United Nations and who he plans on meeting later on this week.
And new changes could be coming to X, the platform formerly.
We know our future is bound to yours. No nation.
Coming to X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. See what they are and how they could affect your wallets. All this and more as TV2 starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening, Portage County, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Noah Patrick Rowe.
And I'm Joseph Dewey Malbin. Today was the first farmers market held on Kent's campus, offering students very cool food.
Our reporter, Dennis Farahani, is on the scene. Dennis, what can you tell us?
Hi guys, that's right. I'm here at the Haymakers Farmers Market, where the autumn chill is beginning to fall upon us. Students are able to buy farm-fresh honey, flowers, fruit, and so much more. There are around 15 different vendors and live music. The market kicks off the fall season and gives students an opportunity to support local farms.
Farmers Market has our mission to make that direct connection so that people know where their food is coming from, and farmers have a community that's supporting the work that they're doing.
There are vendors from all across Northeast Ohio here at the market wanting to share their products. Students are able to support local businesses and learn about farming. If you're interested in getting your hands on these amazing products, the Farmers Market will be back October 17th at the KSU Rec Center. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Dennis Farahani.
Thanks, Dennis. Kent State University students now have a lot more places where they will be able to use their meal swipes. Metropolitan Deli, Hippie Chicken, Home Slice, and Tahini are all part of this new change to dining on campus. The decision to expand the meal swipe program to new restaurants has been in development for a while now, and the university says they made the change as a result of student feedback.
Kent State is hosting a job fair on Wednesday, September 20th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The event is open to all students from all campuses and alumni seeking employment, industry information, career advice, networking contacts, and those exploring new opportunities. The event will be held in the Kent State Student Center Ballroom.
Good evening, everyone. Our temperatures have been fairly consistent moving into fall. Let's get started with the forecast here in Kent. Currently in Kent, it is 66 degrees, feels like 64, quite chilly in my opinion outside. Dew point is at 48, winds are light coming out of the northwest at 4 miles per hour. Humidity is at 52% and visibility is at a clear 10 miles. Now moving into our forecast for this evening, lows tonight are going to be right around 49 degrees with some cloudy skies. The winds are going to shift lightly east to the 5 miles degrees and sunset is at 7:28 p.m. Now moving into tomorrow's forecast. For tomorrow, right around 6 a.m., 50 degrees with cloudy skies. Noon, we're going to bump up just a little bit to 68 with some partly cloudy skies. Some sun will be breaking through farther into the day. And right around 6 p.m., 72 with some partly cloudy skies. Stay tuned because coming up, we will take a look at some statewide temperatures along with your 7-day forecast.
Thanks, Aaron. Wendy Park is home to over 270 different birds, bats, dragonflies, butterflies, and other critters that call the refuge home on their migratory paths.
Our correspondent, Aaron Sullivan, has more information about the butterflies there.
At Cleveland's Wendy Park, people are getting outside and enjoying the last few days of summer, whether that's by spending time on the water or looking up at the park's cottonwood trees, in hopes of getting a glimpse of the monarch migration as they make their journey to Mexico.
Butterflies from Canada make their annual stop in Cleveland each September, and this year was no exception. Several small groups can be seen roosting at Wendy Park on their cottonwood trees, and photographer Joshua Wiley captured just that.
As they roost together during migration, And so in my pictures, you see, this communal roost.
And be sure to look up. Sometimes butterflies can be difficult to spot, but once they move their wings, their camouflaged resting spot will be more visible.
What I'm told is that they tend to start roosting because they migrate during the day, and they'll start roosting maybe as early as 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but especially like 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock when it's getting dark.
You can still see the butterflies at Wendy Park, but their roosting season is coming to an end, so you'll want to visit in the next few days. For TV2 News, I'm Aaron Sullivan.
It's about to be a lot more expensive to park in downtown Cleveland. The city approved new legislation that would allow city-owned parking locations to charge more money to park. The city says that this decision was made to help out businesses who rely on parking turnover to attract business. The goal is to encourage people to park short-term and find off-street parking for long-term stays.
Flying cars in Ohio? It soon could become a possibility. California-based flying car company Joby has selected the 140-acre Dayton International Airport in Ohio as the home for its $500 million manufacturing facility. Joby has backing from Toyota, and its vehicle is an all-electric cross between a plane and a helicopter. The vehicle will be able to carry up to 4 passengers and go roughly 200 miles per hour.
Keep an eye out on the road signs next time you return to Ohio from a trip out of state. Earlier this year in May, Governor DeWine promised to return to Ohio's old slogan, Ohio, the heart of it all. New signs displaying the returning slogan have begun installation on U.S. and interstate routes. The Ohio Board of Tourism says that they hope the old slogan captures more of Ohio's story.
In efforts to raise the state minimum wage, Ohio Democrats have introduced a new bill. Democratic Senators Kent Smith and Herschel Craig introduced Senate Bill 146. The bill would raise minimum wage by $1 each year until the number reaches up to $15 an hour. Ohio's current wage is $10.10. Senator Smith said, "The biggest challenge facing Ohio, I think, is poverty, and we need to go to war against poverty, not the poor."
5 Americans were recently freed from Iran and have returned home. What were the family reactions and what the agreement from the United States and Iran is.
And hear how Chester County, Pennsylvania officials are taking efforts to strengthen their prison after the recent convict escape.
Every one of us has a voice, and every voice has the power to shape the world. Ours is no different. Our voice is 85 years in the making, a voice that's more than 700 students strong, one of the largest in the nation. It's 10 different award-winning media partners sharing 34 outlets, all working united toward a common goal. Our voice reaches 30,000 households on TV, over 22,000 magazine readers per year, 500,000 newspapers, feature films in stores nationwide. Our voice is pride in what we do. It empowers students, emerging professionals, to ask tough questions and demand answers. We believe in our voice. We believe in its ability to change the world. And our voice makes us who we are.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Welcome back. American citizens who are held in Iran have finally made their way home.
Our correspondent Anthony Leonardi has more information on this and other national stories. Anthony, what can you tell us?
That's right, guys. We have great news. 5 Americans have been freed from Iranian detention yesterday and returned to the U.S. today. The 5 Americans arrived at Fort Belvoir and emotions flowed while reuniting with their families.
Knowing what he's going through in prison, 8 years, subject to torture in the first 2 years, and then to finally see him come down the plane, it was, no words can describe it.
The Biden administration has said that the Americans were wrongfully imprisoned, and they were freed in part of a deal that included the United States unfreezing about $6 billion in Iranian funds. Their release happened after years of indirect and complicated negotiations between the United States and Iran. But a senior official for the Biden administration says there is no change in the relationship with Iran. And President Biden urged the world to stand in support of Ukraine's fight against Russia. He plans to meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky later this week.
If you allow Ukraine to be carved up, is the independence of any nation secure? I'd respectfully suggest the answer is no. We have to stand up to this naked aggression today and deter other would-be aggressors tomorrow.
Ukrainian President Zelensky warned world leaders that the Russian aggression could extend into other countries than Ukraine. He says that Russia has weaponized food and energy and said it's not only against our country, but against all yours too. He also met with the Prime Minister of Israel, who had avoided providing Ukraine with arms with the fear of angering Russia.
Russia is pushing the world to the final war. Ukraine is doing everything to ensure that after Russian aggression, no one in the world will dare to attack any nation. Weaponization must be restrained. War crimes must be punished. Deported people must come back home, and the occupier must return to their own land. We must be united to make it.
Zelensky said, quote, "War crimes must be punished. Deported people must come home, and the occupier must return to their own land." He then concluded his speech by saying, "Glory to Ukraine." The United Nations General Assembly will continue to discuss other matters around the world. Meanwhile, an F-35 fighter jet had gone missing on Sunday, and authorities launched a massive search for the wreckage. Yesterday, searchers announced that they have found parts of the stealth fighter jet that went missing and crashed near Charleston, South Carolina. The local sheriff's office did not reveal the location of the parts that were found. The pilot of the jet had ejected and was treated by first responders who took the pilot to the hospital. It is unknown if the crash caused damages or injuries to anyone on the ground. That's going to wrap up all I have for today. For more updates, be sure to stay tuned on KentWire.com and follow us on social media. I've been Anthony Leonardi, TV2 News.
Thanks, Anthony. Well, the nation is facing a possible shutdown at the end of the month as the national debt has crossed the $33 trillion mark. The Treasury Department's report stated that the federal deficit was $1.5 trillion for the first 11 months of the fiscal year. That number is a 61% increase from last year. House Republicans have considered a short-term deal that would cut federal spending, but Congress has not yet come to a conclusion.
In their first town hall meeting since Danilo Cavalcante escaped from prison earlier this month, Chester County, Pennsylvania officials have vowed to upgrade their security measures. These upgrades will include things like metal covers and razor wire, as well as more technological upgrades like drones. Most security measures will be installed in the next 6 months.
Texas officials are getting concerned about the number of migrant arrivals. Shelters in El Paso are over capacity and have been for the last 3 weeks. Officials have said that the region has seen a spike in migrants arriving at the border, averaging 1,200 people per day. CBP officials say the agency is attempting to process migrants safely while still enforcing American laws.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's go ahead and take a look at these temperatures here in Northeast Ohio. 69 up on the bay in Sandusky and Cleveland, 67 in Ashtabula. Moving a little bit farther south, we're at 68 degrees in Mansfield and Worcester and Canton and Youngstown, and it's 66 degrees here in Kent. As for some statewide temperatures, we are at 72 in Lima, 76 in Dayton, and 76 in Cincinnati, 74 in our capital of Columbus, 72 in Athens, 68 in Steubenville, and 68 in Akron. These are some pretty wacky temperatures, I feel like, for this time of year. We usually try to keep it right around like the 70s and 60s, and we've just been having a lot of spikes. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and look at our 7-day forecast. Moving into this week, we can see that partly cloudy skies are going to persist for a majority of the next 7 days. Tomorrow's high is 74 with a low of 53. Thursday, like I said, some partly cloudy skies with a high of 78 and a low of 54. Quite a big jump there we're getting. 78 also on Friday, moving into our weekend with some sunny skies. Saturday and Sunday both are going to be partly cloudy in our area with a high of 73 on Saturday and 72 on Sunday. 72 also is going to be our high for Monday with a low of 56 and some partly cloudy skies. Tuesday, there's a chance for some morning showers to roll into our area as well, with overcast skies a majority of the day and a high of 71 with a low of 55. And that is all for your Tuesday evening weather report. Remember to stay tuned at KentWire.com for more news and weather updates. I'm Aaron Houck.
The United Auto Workers' historic strike against General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis has entered its 4th day, with still no deal in sight.
And negotiations floundered over the weekend. Mike Valerio takes a look at where things stand.
Weekend negotiations saw little progress between the United Auto Workers and the big three automakers.
We still have a long way to go.
While the strike remains targeted at one plant for each company, the union warns it could intensify efforts this week if its demands are not met.
We'll see how things progress the next few days, and if we have to amp up pressure, that's what we're going to do.
Top of the list for workers, an immediate 20% raise, followed by 4 additional 5% raises over the 4-year deal. All 3 companies have countered with a 20% raise during the life of the contract with an immediate 10%.
We gave up a lot in 2008 to help Ford out during the recession. We didn't get any raises for 3 contracts. So it's time for us to get something.
Analysts say the U.S. economy is getting bruised, but the strike's impact isn't likely to push the nation into a recession.
It would depend very much on how long the strike lasts and exactly who's affected by it.
The spillover is already impacting non-striking workers, with both GM and Ford announcing temporary layoffs on Friday. Suppliers working with the big three could also face layoffs soon. Impacted states like Michigan will see a decrease in tax revenue, and buying a car could get more expensive.
It's not that we're going to wreck the economy. We're going to wreck their economy, the economy that only works for the billionaire class.
Historically, gas prices after Labor Day tend to fall. This unfortunately is not the case this year. AAA announced last night that gas prices have risen to $3.88 nationally. That's the highest they've been all year. Although prices are well below the record high, they're still 20 cents higher than they were this time last year. The Secretary of the Treasury, Janet Yellen, expects energy prices will soon stabilize.
And Disney Cruises and Parks are getting an upgrade, and a big one at that. The company plans on investing roughly $60 billion on parks and cruises within the next 10 years. That number is nearly double what the company has spent in the last decade. This announcement was made at a time when Disney park attendance is down due to a number of factors, including higher ticket prices.
CEO of X, Elon Musk, the website that is formerly known as Twitter, is considering charging users a monthly fee to access the platform. He says that this is the only way he can think of to combat what he calls a vast army of bots. Musk hasn't given a timeline of when charges like this may start or what the fee would be. X currently charges a premium user's fee of $8 a month.
A major injury and a merger. Find out all the football news coming up in sports.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Former NFL player Sergio Brown has gone missing while Illinois police investigate his mother's death. Authorities say that his mother was found dead over the weekend in a Chicago suburb.
Brown and his mother were last seen alive last Thursday. Brown was captured on his Ring doorbell camera, taking out trash bags and burning his mother's clothing. Authorities are still searching for the former player.
And Cleveland Browns star running back Nick Chubb will likely be out for the season after he was carted off the field during a game against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday night after a severe knee injury.
Chubb was hit by Steelers safety Minkah Fitzpatrick in the second quarter of Monday's game, and his left knee went inward. So Della, what else can you tell us about this?
Hi guys, I think I can speak for all of us when I say this one stopped us in our tracks. Not only is Nick Chubb a pillar of heart and sportsmanship, but also a powerful weapon in the Browns offense. He suffered a similar knee injury in college, but if you saw the video, you know how scary this was. The good news is, though, he is going to be taken care of by some of the best doctors in the country, and we wish him a well recovery. And we will shift it now to Kent State athletics. The women's soccer, field hockey, and volleyball teams are partnering with the Women's Center to host a weekend full of female empowerment. Field hockey will start off the weekend hosting Ohio University at 3. Then the women's volleyball team will host a pair of matches against Buffalo Friday evening, Saturday afternoon. And soccer will round up the home game against the school down the road. Paired with these events is an open discussion held at the Women's Center Thursday from 12 to 1. And some news for spring football fans. The USFL and XFL are merging to create one league. Before the merger, the league seasons overlapped a few weeks from last spring. If you watched last season, you probably saw a lot of familiar faces as the XFL and USFL host a lot of Mid-American Conference players. Now, the details of who owns what will be revealed soon, but as soon as we will know more, we will tell you. But it is good medicine for those in the post-Super Bowl, no football withdrawal kind of thing. And speaking of football, we'll take it now to the Steel City. A battle of QBs with high expectations, a little bit of a rivalry too. Pickett, Watson, primetime. Watson, he's going to move back, throw, and it'll be picked by Alex Highsmith, and he's going to run it all the way home. What a start to take this game going on. Steel City scoring first with a 7-0 lead. Watson in a little trouble here, trying to find someone to injure. Rome Ford stepping in. He's going to do a Nick Chubb run for number 24, who we love dearly. He went down with that injury, as we mentioned earlier, but it's all good because the Browns have a 10-7 lead now. Steelers, now, pick 'em. Pickett to Pickens, and we'll always pick this duo. A 71-yard touchdown is going to take the lead right back. Run, Georgie, run. 2nd and 5 here. Ford being forced into the RB1 spot, as we talked about, trying to find a path here. Watson throws him a block to the Steelers defense, putting the wheels on, falling into that end zone, and that will take the lead back, and it'll be paired beautifully with a 2-point conversion. Watson back. Where the heck is the O-line? Ball loose. TJ Watt scoops it and runs home. He's going to take the lead and finish this game off in a dramatic fashion. Pittsburgh takes it home 26-22. And that is all I've got for now for TV2 Sports. I'm Della on the mic. You have a great night.
Step aside, ChatGPT. There's a new AI coming to town, and promoters hope that she'll change the face of entertainment. We'll tell you all about it next. The future is now. Sphere in Las Vegas will welcome its guests into their atrium with an AI-powered robot. This spokesbot's name is Aura, and the company behind this new attraction claims she's the most advanced robot of her kind. Sphere promoters say she'll interact with guests and become a part of the overall experience. The venue hopes to redefine the future of live entertainment.
And the United States Postal Service's annual Letters to Santa operation is well underway. The initiative is in its 111th year of operation and helps children in need have brighter Christmases. Kids can write letters with specific details of what they want, and those letters can be adopted by strangers who send the gifts anonymously. Letters can be addressed to Santa Claus, 123 Elf Road, North Pole 88888, and must be in the mail by December 11th.
No, please, Joe, you go first.
You go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say that I love Christmas, and it's never too early to start just thinking about that Christmas season.
You're right. I've been listening to Christmas songs.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Oh, what is your top tier Christmas song, would you say?
Oh, something like, I like Michael Bublé.
Ooh.
He's really good.
Mr. Bublé.
Mr. Bublé.
No way.
I like What Child Is This by Bing Crosby.
Well, which child is it?
Huh? What about you?
Oh, I'm a another big Good King Wenceslas fan. It is a classic Christmas carol.
Oof. Never heard of it.
Well, that's all the time we have for you today at 6.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Make sure to follow TV2 News on social media at Kent Wired to stay up to date with the latest, and check out our website at kentwired.com. I'm Noah Rowe.
And I'm Joe Malbin. Have a great night, Portage County.